To most people, the overhand shuffle looks like you're just mixing the cards. And if you're new to card magic, that's probably what you've been doing. But here's the truth, magicians don't always share. You can shuffle the deck and still keep the top cards in perfect order. This isn't just a cool trick, it's a core skill that makes advanced sleight of hands, forces, and stacked tricks actually work. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you two different ways to control the top stack of the cards during the overhand shuffle step by step. And that way you can start thinking and performing like a real magician. Okay, let me show you how this looks. We're going to pull off the sevens. We get the sevens on top. So we're going to try to retain those 4 sevens at the top of the deck here. And this is option number 1. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do 3 overhand shuffles. So that was option number 1. This would be option number 2. Okay. Kind of clunky. It's something that, again, we're just learning how to do, but I'm going to show you guys how to do this. But remember that the cards appear mixed, but when I spread that deck, those 4 sevens are going to still be on top of the deck here. But let's break this down exactly what we did. So, you know, if you've been following along on my card magic journey, you probably already have an idea how we did both of the sleights. If not, let's walk through them both very slowly here and then answer some of the questions that you might have along the way. Method 1, we're going to start in our basic overhand shuffle position here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to peel off the top whatever number cards, and you want to try to do, you know, the number that you need plus maybe 3, 4, 5 extra cards, so that way you have no more than really 10 cards in your hand. And what we're going to do is we're going to injog 1 card, and then we're going to shuffle off the rest, and then we're going to undercut and bring those cards back to the top. So that way we have our 4 sevens again on top, okay? So really slow, and I'm going to kind of turn my hand towards you guys so you can see what I'm doing. I'm starting with my overhand shuffle position. I'm just going to take my thumb and peel off a small selection of cards. I'm going to take one. I'm going to injog it, so you can see that right here. Injog my pinkies underneath it. And I'm just going to shuffle off the rest, so that way from the audience side of things, you can't see that I injogged the card. It's kind of a little bit of a jumble mess. I'm going to come in, pinch it between my middle and my thumb, throw it on top, and that's going to be square in the deck. That's your 1, 2, 3, and 4 sevens. Okay, option number 2 is called the running the stock or the double control cycle. And what you're going to do is you're going to run that top stock one at a time, and then you're going to injog, shuffle off the rest, undercut, and then repeat the lock to lock the order in place. Okay, so let's start with the mechanic script again, and it's going to be, you know, in our hand here, ready to run. We're going to use our thumb. We're going to run 4 cards, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and what's the difference between this and the first method? Method 2 gives you cleaner card separation, so we have the 4 sevens right here, but it takes a little bit more time and control here. So we did that. We're going to injog the next card. Okay, we're going to overhand shuffle the rest of the deck. We're going to undercut and bring that portion to the top of the deck. Okay, and we're going to repeat this process for a full second time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and okay, undercut and throw it to the top. So what happens is we reverse the order of the sevens, and then the second time through we brought the order of the sevens back to what it was originally. So that's why we did that 2 different times. So that was a question that people do have, is why do we have to do that twice? The second restores the original order. It's subtle, but it does matter. Now you've done a false shuffle that preserves both the presence and the order of your top stack. Okay, these are some common mistakes that a person might have. And the first one is just rushing that run. And what happens is you pull off too many or whatever. You know, don't want to rush that run. You want to make sure that it's clean. Again, keeping, you know, that ring finger with some pressure on it, so you can just pull off, you know, one card at a time here. You know, if you need to count mentally, do so. You know, get a rhythm. Rhythm is more important than speed at first. Okay. Mistake number 2 is uneven thumb pressure, and this causes clumping or drag of the cards. You know, a fix to this is just relax that thumb and keep that pressure steady. I find when I do this, I use the outside of my thumb pad here and sometimes in here to add friction or traction to the cards here. So that's kind of how I do that. Mistake number 3 is that you have inconsistent rhythm between your controlled shuffle and your casual shuffle. And you kind of ask yourself, does that really matter? And absolutely it does matter, because spectators subconsciously pick up on rhythm changes. And usually if you have a rhythm change, that might be an indication that something sneaky might be going on, or that you're doing something to hide what you are wanting them to believe. But anyhow, make sure that you practice both versions side by side. You know, make your false shuffle feel just like a normal one. And that's how you're going to get through, and you're going to practice and make it so they both look similar. Now you might be asking, how many cards can I realistically control before it gets too risky? And if you're doing option number 1, where you're pulling that top stock off, your max cards or your goal cards are somewhere between 5 to 10 cards. And if you do anything more than that, you're going to run that risk of failing or flashing the cards or whatever it is. If you're doing option number 2, you want to stick with that 3 to 5 card range. Because if you do this too much, if you keep on running the cards, they're going to kind of pick up on it, even if you go faster in that with that. But again, rhythm is the key for this. And then another question you might have is, can I use this in a real performance or just one setting up? And that's a great question, but both methods work in live performances if you've practiced enough to control your tension, your angles, your rhythm. And they can also be used during setups for like future sleights and tricks and stuff like that as well. So you can kind of use it for both. Practice routine here is, again, 1 to 3 times a day, daily practice. It should take you about 10 to 30 minutes to go through this practice routine. You're going to start off with 5 overhand shuffles and 5 sets of completely through the deck. You're going to go with the top to the bottom and back to the top again. And that's option number 1. And then you're going to go top to the bottom and square the deck thumb break, which is option number 2. Okay. And that's what we're going to do for 5 sets. And then we're going to go bottom card control, where we use our fingers to hold it down. And we're just going to shuffle it off. And again, glimpse at the end to make sure that you did that correctly. So the 5 of diamonds. And that's good for 5 sets. And then we got top card control. And that's going to be option number 1 here. And this is, I should say, top stock control. So option number 1, you use your thumb to pull it off. And you go through and shuffle the rest off, undercut and throw on top. Or we got this option right here, where we're just pulling, 3, 4 cards off, injog, shuffle off, undercut, 1, 2, 3, 4, undercut, and then that should be the same cards on top as well. But anyhow, guys, again, practice 1 to 3 times a day. Within a week, you're going to start feeling like you have total control, or a lot more control than you actually have just beginning out. Show the top cards, you're going to shuffle, then reveal to make sure that you're still on top. But anyhow, click on the right-hand side here if you want to look or check out our full Overhand Shuffle playlist. And I'm going to keep on adding videos as we go through our journey to that playlist. And that'll help you master all the different variations that we've covered so far. If you have a question I didn't answer, drop it in the comments below, and I will try to answer every single one of them. But until next time, my name is Joe. This is my Card Magic journey. Let's make it yours too.